Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. I was born in Russia, and I was born into a Jewish family. My mother was Jewish. My father, however, was Armenian, and he's Orthodox Christian, but I was never raised with him. I was raised with my mother. Growing up, I went to yeshiva. It's a Hebrew school. It's very well known. There's one called yeshiva, I forget the name, Beis Yaakov Yeshiva for girls. And I used to speak Hebrew. I used to read and write for about 3 years until I moved to New York. And then, as you know, they say you don't use it, you lose it. So I lost it. Growing up, I was not very religious. We didn't practice Judaism in our house. We even ate pork. My family, being Russian communists, back in the days in Russia, they didn't really practice any religion. Sometimes they were even atheists, and I used to hear things like, oh, you know, when everything is good, look, there's God, you see, thank God. And when things went bad, it was like, oh, where's God? There's no God. So growing up, I was a bit confused, you know, so I didn't practice any religion at all. I used to just say things like even there's no God and astaghfirullah, and I really didn't believe sometimes that there was a God due to all of these confusing, you know, comments that were made in my family throughout. Later on, I would think to myself, well, you know, how could 90% of people believe in God or in a higher being, and here I am, the small percentage not. And then I used to look at my hands, and I used to look at myself, and I used to say, no, someone had to create me. Like, I didn't just create myself. And even, like, this was like at the age of 10, 11, 12, and I said, there has to be a God. But I went on in ignorance, just, you know, doing however I want and following nothing. When I went to pharmacy school back in New York, in LIU, on the last year, we had some students that were Muslim. And there was a boy, and I didn't really know much about Islam except that what they said on TV, you know, that Muslims are terrorists. So there was a guy in school, one of my classmates, and Hassam, and he told me, you know, he goes, I have a CD and why you should become Muslim. And it's about a Jewish guy who became Muslim. Were you open-minded and interested in listening to that? And I said, sure. I said, why not? So then he brought me a CD and he said, you know what, it's not about, I can't find the one with the Jewish guy, this is about a Christian guy. He was an archbishop at the age of 14. And he